In the ancient world, kings ruled with armies and swords. But one man changed history with nothing but a spoon and a plan. He was born a slave, yet he would topple the mightiest dynasty of his time not with violence, but with patience, wisdom, and daring. This is the untold story of Yi Yin, the cook who became a chancellor, the spy who became a legend, the man who brought down a kingdom, one dish at a time.
As dusk fell, the skies glowed crimson. In front of Shang Tang's palace, smoke rose from a bronze cauldron, curling into the darkening sky. Rows of armored soldiers stood silent, weapons gleaming, as an eerie tension filled the air. Far away, in the slave camps of the Yuxin tribe, firelight flickered in the darkness. There, a young man dressed in rough linen stirred a large pot with quiet focus. His name was Yi Yin. He wasn't just a cook. Behind his calm gaze lay a mind far beyond the ordinary. To him, cooking wasn't just about feeding others, it was a philosophy. Every measure of spice, every flicker of flame was a lesson in balance, control, and understanding the world. One day, Shang Tang, ruler of the Shang tribe, heard of this talented slave and summoned him to the palace. Yi Yin stood before the king, unafraid, and bowed.
Your Majesty, I have long admired your virtue. It is an honor to meet you today.
Shang Tang smiled and asked,
They say your cooking is exceptional. Is there really such wisdom in it?
Yi Yin replied calmly.
Cooking is much like governing. The 5 flavors sour, sweet, bitter, spicy, and salty must be perfectly balanced. Too much or too little ruins the dish, and a nation is the same. Only balance leads to peace.
Shang Tang was deeply impressed. He didn't immediately promote Yi Yin but kept him close, watching him carefully. Over time, Yi Yin's loyalty, wisdom, and insight won the king's full trust. At that time, the Xia Dynasty was on the brink of collapse. In the Xia palace, King Ji sat on his golden throne, surrounded by wine and women, lost in endless luxury and cruelty. His people suffered under his rule. Meanwhile, in the Shanglands, Shang Tang stood on a high platform, watching his people struggle in poverty. One of his ministers warned,
Your Majesty, although King Ji is harsh, his dynasty is still strong. His armies are vast. If we challenge him now, we may face disaster.
Shang Tang replied,
That's why we need to know their weaknesses. If we strike blindly, we risk everything. But if we know their flaws, we can win without bloodshed.
The court fell silent. No one dared speak. That night, under flickering candlelight, Yi Yin entered the king's private chamber. He knelt and spoke firmly.
Your Majesty, I will go to Xia, disguised as a cook, and uncover their secrets.
Shang Tang was shocked.
Do you realize what this means? If you are caught, it's certain death.
Yi Yin's voice remained calm.
I do, but if it can save our people, I am willing to risk everything.
After a long pause, Shang Tang stood and helped him up.
If heaven is on our side,
The king said softly.
I won't let your sacrifice be in vain.
On a stormy night, Shang Tang and Yi Yin met in secret.
To convince Xia you are a runaway slave,
Shang Tang said.
we must make it look absolutely real.
Yi Yin nodded.
I understand. I must appear severely punished and cast out, with no hope of return.
Shang Dong hesitated.
You will be hurt.
Yi Yin smiled slightly.
For the sake of the nation, pain means nothing. The act must be convincing.
The next day, at dawn in the quiet palace courtyard, Shang Tang walked with his ministers. Yi Yin appeared from a side path, carrying a steaming soup bowl. Pretending to stumble, he spilled the hot broth onto Shang Tang's royal robes. The guards reacted immediately. Shang Tang roared in anger.
You insolent cook, you've defiled my robes.
He ordered.
20 slaps, 40 lashes.
Yi Yin was dragged away by guards. Inside the hall. Outside, people heard only the sound of whipping and Yi Yin's cries. Inside, Shang Tang whispered.
Can you endure this?
Yi Yin, sweating and bruised, gritted his teeth.
If I'm not truly hurt, they won't believe it.
Shang Tang gave a final nod, ordering a few more symbolic strikes before having Yi Yin secretly taken to a remote area beyond the city walls. After months of wandering, Yi Yin reached Xia's capital, Zhenshun. He posed as a beaten runaway slave and begged for work in the palace kitchens. At first, he did the lowest tasks, chopping wood, scrubbing pots, but he remained patient and focused. Every day he refined his dishes. Eventually, he presented a special meal called Dragon and Phoenix Delight, which greatly pleased King Ji.
You have talent.
The king said, impressed. Yi Yin bowed and replied,
I may be lowborn, but I live to serve your majesty the finest flavors under heaven.
Soon he became the king's personal chef, free to roam the palace and secretly observe military movements, supply routes, and court politics. One evening, in the quiet palace garden, he met Mo Shi, King Ji's abandoned concubine, sitting alone by the moonlit lake.
Your ladyship?
Yi Yin asked gently.
Why sit here alone on such a cold night?
Mo Shi sighed.
Once I was loved, now discarded. The palace walls are colder than ice.
They began talking regularly, and Yi Yin gradually earned her trust. One night he quietly asked,
Your ladyship, you know the Xia Dynasty is crumbling. The people suffer. Good men are silenced. If a new ruler rises, the world could find peace again. Would you help?
Mo Shi hesitated for a long time before whispering.
If I can change my fate, I will help you.
Through her, Yi Yin obtained detailed maps of Xia's military positions. Most of Xia's forces were stationed far away, leaving the capital nearly defenseless. On a dark, moonless night, Yi Yin sealed the intelligence in a hidden pouch and escaped the palace during the guard change. He raced day and night back to Shang territory. Yi Yin, exhausted and bruised, finally returned to Shang. Without resting, he laid out the maps before Shang Tang.
Your majesty, Xia's armies are far away to the east. The southwestern border is exposed. The capital is weak. The people hate their king. Now is the time to strike.
Shang Tang gathered his generals. Yi Yin presented his plan.
We will pretend to attack the east, drawing their forces there. Then send our main army from the southwest to strike their heart.
The generals agreed. Shang Tang ordered,
Prepare for war.
In the heat of summer, Shang's forces quietly bypassed Xia's defenses, advancing from the southwest toward the capital. Along the way, villagers welcomed them openly. The people had already abandoned King Ji. The next day, Shang's main army formed what looked like a loose, weak formation to bait the enemy. Xia's army attacked, even breaking through the front lines briefly. But they didn't realize Yi Yin had hidden troops on the hills nearby. As Xia's forces pushed deeper, Shang's troops closed in from both sides, surrounding and crushing them. On the third day, King Ji led his elite troops himself, arranging an aggressive formation with wings ready to strike. Shang Tang, watching from a command tower, ordered a special formation designed to trap them, holding the center while allowing the enemy to charge in, then surrounding them. The battlefield thundered with drums and cries of war. Xia's troops were caught in the trap. At the decisive moment, General Nangong Jing led a cavalry strike into Xia's central command, killing their general and cutting down their flag. Without leadership, Xia's army collapsed completely. In the chaos, King Ji fled south in disgrace. The Battle of Mingtiao had shattered the Xia Dynasty. After the war, Shang's troops maintained strict discipline. No looting occurred. The people offered food and supplies willingly. Shang Tang ascended the throne. During the coronation, he publicly took Yi Yin's hand and declared,
Without you, there would be no Shang Dynasty today.
Yi Yin bowed deeply, calm and humble.
I only did my duty. The credit belongs to the people and their king, not to any one man.
Yi Yin went on to serve 3 generations of Shang rulers. Known for his wisdom and humility, he became celebrated as the very first great prime minister in Chinese history. Born as a humble cook, he became a master of strategy. Without sword or armor, he toppled a dynasty with wisdom and courage. Yi Yin, whose name still echoes as a symbol of ancient Chinese wisdom.
You're watching stories of strategy, learning Sun Tzu through legends. If you enjoyed this story and want to see more, please support us by subscribing. Every subscriber helps us keep these ancient tales alive. This is China Tales. See you in the next legend.